Well, a familiar face to Australian race goers, Dan Beasley, but you've been up here for a while now, Dan, really enjoying Singapore.
Yeah, it's a good place to live, very easy place to live, and the racing's really good and keeps getting better and better. So it's great to be a part of the industry up here and seeing it grow, and to see where it's come over the last 5 years has been quite significant, and I'm sure it's going to continue to grow.
This weekend's the big one for the locals, and obviously you guys really look forward to riding winners.
Yeah, most definitely. This is sort of like anywhere internationally, like when you have your international days, they're our sort of our Melbourne Cup days, and this is the day when all the better horses sort of step out and are showcased against what sort of comes from the rest of the world, and hopefully our horses can be competitive.
Looking at the Friday night, the Guineas and the Golden Horseshoe, you've got rides in both those races.
Yeah. In the Guineas, I ride a little horse called Jerome Glory, and he's deserved his crack at the Guineas. He's never been out of a place, and he's only won the 2 races, but he's been placed behind some pretty smart ones, and he definitely deserves his place.
What about the mile? Is that an issue for him?
No, he's ran second over a mile behind Better Life before, and she'll be sort of probably like second favourite or third favourite in the race. So no, he's performed at the mile, and he actually gives every indication that he's looking for the mile and probably wants a bit further. He's had a really good preparation going into it. He's had 3 1200s and a 1400, and he trained really well here this morning. So even though like he's not in the class of a super easy, and he probably falls a little bit short behind Better Life and that, but he's definitely sort of a horse that could pop into the minor sort of end of the money.
The Golden Horseshoe?
Yeah, I'm riding a really nice horse by Red Dazzler called Golden Prince. He's had 3 runs up here, but he's a big raw fella, and he keeps continuing to improve. He's probably not your real typical 2-year-old, but he's ran well at all 3 runs, and as I said, he's continuing to improve, and he'll be a better horse next year, but the big long course will probably suit him, and he'll run well with... you never know.
Looking on to the Sunday, the International Cup, and you ride Red Rosewood.
Yeah, she's really come back into form. Her last 3 runs have been terrific after having a bit of a lull early in the year, but she won the Polytrack race 2 starts ago, and then ran a great race in the Queen Elizabeth behind Waikato, and she's continued to train really well during the week, and her form going into this race is as good, or if not better, as it was before the Queen Elizabeth. So expected to run to the best of her ability, and sort of wherever that gets us, I'm not quite sure, but it's a very open race this year. Probably the international horses don't maybe look quite as strong as what they have been in the past, so I expect the local horses to probably be pretty competitive this year.
What sort of ground would you be looking for with her?
Ground any type. She goes, if it's wet, she'll go good. Dry, she's also very, very adaptable, but probably if it's a bit wet, it probably slows a few of the others up, but any ground she'll handle.
And the sprint, of course, Rocket Man, the benchmark there, but you've got to ride in that race as well.
Yeah, Yin Zi, and he's a very interesting horse in that he's never finished out of a place. I rode him last 2 weeks ago, and he broke the track record on the Polytrack. Very, very fast horse. And interestingly, he's trialled twice against Rocket Man, and normally Rocket Man wins his trials by 5 or 6 or even further lengths, but this horse has sort of like took him out of his comfort zone a couple of times, and ran him sort of to a length in a couple of trials. So he's a horse that you like. Obviously, you can't say he's like of Rocket Man's ability, but he's a horse that's capable to, as I said, he's very fast, and he'll go out there and run a bit of time. And the only thing, he's had a little bit of feet issues, but if Theo gets in there on the day, worked him on Saturday in a jump out, and he really flew up the back. So he's a really interesting runner.
Where would you like to see him in the run?
He'll be in the first 2 or 3. He's a very fast horse, and actually in his trials, when he trialled against Rocket Man, he led him both times. So I wouldn't say on Sunday night that he'll do that. He come off the speed last week when he broke the track record on the Polytrack. But he's a very progressive horse, and as I said, he's never done a thing wrong in his whole career. He's never finished out of a place, and even though he's jumping, he only really had his first run in open company last start. But so it's a massive step up for him. But he's a very interesting runner.
Looking at your overall rides over the 2 days, what are the ones we really should keep an eye out for?
Definitely my best ride is on Sunday in the mile novice, a horse called Hot Gold. He's an Irish bred horse. He's a very progressive horse, and I've got really high opinion of him, and I think he's going to be a pretty serious horse. He took a couple of runs to sort of find his way coming to Singapore, but his last 2 runs he's really put it together, and he ran second behind a very smart horse 2 starts ago. And then last week he won by 6 lengths with pretty much untouched. So he's a very progressive horse, and I'd say he's my best ride for the whole weekend.